Tell Me About It is brought to you by Extreme Health Club.
Hi, I'm James Brown. Welcome to Tell Me About It, Glasgow EPB Channel 6, local channel. I'm here with Trevent Hayes, KYSports.tv, and Kelsey Kirkpatrick, who happens to coach the Glasgow Lady-Scotties basketball team. It's the district tournament coming up here soon. What you looking at? Anyway, we're gonna preview some district basketball. We're gonna have Coach Kirkpatrick in here. We'll have Coach Warren Cunningham and Coach Piper Lindsey. Because of the timing of things, we're actually filming this on Thursday morning because we didn't know what the district matchups were going to be in the 15th district until Wednesday night, so we couldn't do our usual ahead. And because of that, the timing of things, we're not going to be able to get Coach William Buford in here, but we will talk about the Glasgow Scotties district matchup in one of these segments we have coming up. Let's kick it off here with Coach Kirkpatrick. Of late, your team has been win or lose basically by the bounce of a ball on a rim a lot, hasn't it?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it worked out for you at Metcalfe County. Addie Slagle hit a three, and then you guys went into overtime off of that and won that game 75-70. Then you had one just skip off the rim, I guess, against Cumberland County.
Lost that one bounced all the way around. So.
it's one of those like the Raptors there, right? It's a dink, 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 but it didn't go sink.
Yeah, it went all the way around until I went down to my knees. So it finally rolled all the way out. So, but it was a good contested shot. So
yeah.
Could you do that one more time?
What?
How did it go?
Dink, 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 but it didn't go sink.
I like that, James.
All right. Some days it works out for me. Anyway, so tell me a little bit about this matchup with the Warren East, because you've played them twice during the regular season. This is their, I guess, second year in the district, and so it's kind of a new thing, playing Warren East mandatorily. And what are some things that they do that have kind of caused you guys some problems?
East is a good ball program. Even last year, they were a good ball program. I know their record didn't reflect it, and you can tell they put a lot of work in the off season. The main thing with them, we use them in practice, like just kind of specific things, like the way they share the ball, the way they throw it up, the way they can read each other and know how to cut. Their offensive scheme is great. So stopping them in transition and knowing where the matchups are, that's what we have to key into.
You kind of like this matchup, though, versus because you could have drawn Barren. They had the draw for the 1-2 seed, and so Warren East drew for the 1 seed. Barren has gotten Katie Murphy back. I thought they've been playing a lot better, especially the last week or so. And so you ended up with this matchup. And I think one of the things is Barren's got big people everywhere. Right. Warren East doesn't have that size advantage that Barren would have had in that matchup. Is that one of the things that you think kind of works for you guys?
I think our guards match up better with East guards compared to like Ann Ashley and Katie Murphy, Katie Elmore. Like they're some taller, bigger girls. So I think the matchups are different. And like you said, having Katie Murphy back, she sees the floor very well. The Barren girls play well together too. So. I said at the beginning of the season when we first came into this, it didn't matter who we drew, it didn't matter who anybody drew, it was going to be a dogfight no matter what.
Yeah. Well, and you guys had a senior night on Tuesday, but you didn't because you have no seniors.
Right, yeah. We got the bye this year, so.
Right. You have some questions?
Going into the district tournament, this is your second year as the head coach. I'm sure you're more prepared this year as far as taking the reins and being over the program. How do you think your girls have improved from last year to this point in the season this year?
I think even from the beginning of the season to now, just the confidence level that they've equipped themselves with. We had a tough schedule. I did it on purpose. I wanted them to get that experience because I knew coming in we didn't really have the experience. We had Cynthia Austin, who started last year, and that was it. And then, Kayla came off the bench. But as far as experience went, I knew we had to play the top picks in the region, and that's who we started off our season with. And we've competed. There's about 3 or 4 games where it wasn't as close, but with the rest of the season, I'd say it was about a 10-point spread. So they're fighting. They just have to learn to play the 4 quarters and not give up one.
So, mentioning that you have a young team, what is the most prominent growth that you've seen out of your players so far this year?
I would definitely say the confidence level. Just watching how they're now learning how to pick each other up. You know, I mean, it's easy. You miss a shot, you hang your head, and you know. And I've tried telling them, like, if you get down on yourself over a mistake, it's just going to make for a long game. Like, you've got to pick each other up. You've got to stay confident. Like, forget that play, keep moving forward. And I think they've rose to that challenge. You know, you can now see them picking each other up. Like, hey, it's okay. Let's get it back. You know, and as a coach, that's what I want to see. Just them being a team and not an individual player.
Mm-hmm. Well, and I guess one of the things, I mean, mentioning you have a bunch of young players is getting used to the physical nature of varsity basketball, because people think, you know, it's basketball, but people are bouncing into each other, setting screens, roughing each other up.
Yeah.
And that's probably an adjustment they've had to make as this season has gone along.
And, you know, it's been brought up just, you know, their middle school style. You know, 4 of the 5 starters played middle school ball last year, you know, and it's a big change going from the middle school style to high school style. And now you're playing juniors and seniors that are more physical and bigger. So now you got to adjust how you play compared to what your normal age group is.
Yeah. Trent?
Good.
You don't know anything?
You know, I haven't been able to follow this district girls-wise, so
Yeah.
I'll have more questions for Warren.
All right. Well, okay, I got a couple more questions for you then.
Okay.
Of course you do.
So one of the things, like in the Metcalfe County win, you had probably 3 different stretches where you had a different player who took over the game and scored during these stretches. And that seemed to be one of the things that didn't happen as much early in the season. Like it started off, Addie Slagle did all the scoring. And then Jakiley Green had a stretch where she seemed to do all the scoring. But how much have you worked on getting them to be confident, each of them, that they can lead the team in scoring or be the person that's going to score that night?
Yeah, and that's how I compared to East. You know, like when we played them both times, they had different leading scorers, they had different leading rebounders. You know, it doesn't just take one, it takes the entire team. So, you know, the driving kicks, the throwing up in transition, not standing, not being content with where you're at. Like I tell them if you don't have the ball and you're standing longer than 2 seconds, you're wrong. You know, like you got to keep moving. If you're getting tired on defense, we got to make them tired on defense. And just the way they're moving now, they're getting more open gaps. So, you know, at the end of the day, they don't care who scores. They just want to win. And that's got to be the mindset the rest of the year leading into next year.
Well, that's a good problem to have.
Yeah. Yes.
Overall, how do you feel like the growth of the team has gone this season? Not just skills and that kind of stuff, but what you were talking about, that kind of working as a team and that kind of thing.
I think it's came along. I've seen it the past 2 weeks more so than I have the entire year. Like I said, you know, we've always gave up 1 quarter, and now we're starting to compete the entire time. So if they just got to buy into it. You know, we have the rotations, we got the bench, we got the girls on the floor. When you're stepping onto the floor, I tell them that, you know, make it hard for me to take you out. Like, that's how hard you should be playing. You should be taking yourself out of the game before I have to sub you out. You know, ask for a break because you're playing so hard. So I think they're buying into it. They just got to stay ready.
All right. Anything else you want folks to know?
No, I don't think so.
All right. Well, good. All right. This has been segment 1 of Tell Me About It, District Basketball Preview Season. I'm James Brown, Trevent Hayes, Glasgow Lady-Scotties coach Kelsey Kirkpatrick. We'll be right back.
Extreme Fitness has doubled in size, now with over 8,000 square feet of co-ed weights and an upgraded 90-degree saline therapy pool. The Extreme Fitness campus also holds the exclusive Extreme Fitness for Women complex and Extreme Blend smoothie bar. You have to experience the variety of classes to realize the impact they have on their clients. Personal training is with the best in the business and is available and tailored to fit individuals. So start your journey today at Extreme Fitness and Health Club.
Introducing the Glasgow EPB Customer Payment Portal and mobile app. With our new sleek and user-friendly payment portal, managing your Glasgow EPB services has never been easier. And if you need to make a payment on the go, our new mobile app lets you pay your bills with just a few taps. The Glasgow EPB Customer Payment Portal and mobile app, because managing your Glasgow EPB services should be as simple as flipping a switch. Visit glasgowepb.com/billpay today to sign up and download the app.
Trevent Hayes, KY Sports TV. We're back with James Brown, 104 The Score, and the Barren County Trojan head coach, Warren Cunningham. Coach, thanks for coming on.
Thank you guys for having me.
No problem. I had a malfunction with my wardrobe. My shirt kind of clashed.
Had
with
those
the
too.
backdrop. And so the first segment, I wasn't my normal self. I was still in awe of having to go put this shirt on, and it makes me look like a UK Dallas Cowboy and a Glasgow fan, and I'm not. You guys are getting ready to go into the district tournament. First, let's talk about your season so far. I think it was maybe a non-traditional season for you as far as your style of play.
Probably so. We've shot a lot of threes, which is something that we've done a little bit from time to time, but obviously a lot more this season than we have in the past, and that's just because of the guys that we have and what their strengths are, and trying to play around that a little bit. But we've had a good season. Really proud of our team, and right now it's all about having a good finish.
Right. One of the things that I was talking to some other coaches a few weeks ago, and we were talking about coaches in the area, and that's one of the things that I respect about you so much as a coach is, you're a great in-game adjuster. As far as I think so. So of course you're going to say
I question
maybe
myself
not.
a lot.
Yeah. But what you've done with this team, I think it's really good.
Well, I think the credit goes to the guys. We have a great group of guys that have been extremely easy to coach. And we have good guards. We had two guards that had a lot of experience coming into the season. Outside of that, we didn't have a lot. But, sometimes the pieces all fit together pretty good. And I feel like this group, that has happened for the most part, as far as everybody understands their role. Everybody's glad to do their role. And, it's just been a really, really easy group to coach. And that the credit to that goes to our guys. And they've worked really hard. They wanted to have a successful season. And everybody's just kind of been very willing to do whatever it takes for us to be successful. And they've done a great job of that. Now,
your seedings for the district. Mm-hmm. I knew it was down to you and Warren East for the 1 seed. Yeah, well,
we're the one because we beat them both times during the season. We're both 4-2 in the district, but the head-to-head we beat them both times. Of course, both those games were pretty early. They were without the big guy both games, which obviously helped our cause a little bit. But we're the one, and we play Allen on Tuesday night.
Okay, so probably looking. I know the last Glasgow game, it was a 2-point game with Warren and Glasgow. Warren East and Glasgow. So it could be a potential Glasgow and Barren County championship.
Well, we both got work to do before that. So, we play Allen, and they beat us a couple weeks ago. And they've had a rough year, but they've obviously, played extremely well that night. And so we got to be ready to go Tuesday night, and we'll worry about whatever else happens after that. We hope we get to play Warren East or Glasgow, but we've got a lot of work to do before we get to that point.
So, quick question about that Allen County game. Mm-hmm. You guys scored 1 point in the fourth quarter.
Right at the end.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
One for 4, I guess, at the foul line, and then missed everything else.
Over.
Yeah. So, what was that? Just like a point in the season? You hit those January doldrums and that kind of stuff. You just hit a point in the season where.
I think it was a combination of things. I think you have to give them credit because I thought they played well. They shot the ball well. They made plays down the stretch. We went up 7, midway late in the third, and it felt like maybe we were starting to get a little bit control of the game. And just like that, they came back and make a 3, and we turn it over and they score again. So I think they had the momentum in the game at the right time, and we lost it, and we couldn't get it back. And I thought our shot selection down the stretch was probably not the best. So. But I think so much of it you have to give them credit. Their kids made shots and made plays, and they've had a tough season. But credit to their kids. They've continued to play hard, and They made shots down the stretch of the game and played really well. And hopefully we can go back and learn some things from that film and be ready to go on Tuesday.
Well, but I thought since then you guys have bounced back because you went to Franklin Simpson the next night, won by 10.
Yeah, it doesn't make a lot of sense sometimes. and we started off great. I mean, we went to Franklin the next night making shots early in the game, and I turned around early and I was like, we could have used a couple of these last night. Yeah. But that's just, credit to our kids because we were all catching a lot of heat after that, and that's how it goes sometimes. But our kids responded, and for the most part, we've had a stretch where we've played some good teams, but we've played pretty well for the most part.
Well, that's what I was going to say. So do you think off of that Allen County game, your players just kind of reassessed themselves and how they were playing that night? Or?
Well, I think it gets your attention.
Yeah.
I think games like that get your attention sometimes and helps you refocus to say, man, that we've got to bring it and got to focus every game. And we've also been in that was kind of in the middle of a stretch where we had a really busy stretch there. We had 7 games in 11 days. And, you go through ups and downs in the season. Sometimes the downs are a little bit further down than we would like to go, but everybody has ups and downs, and those things happen sometimes, and you just got to learn from them and move on.
What are some things that you do between the end of the regular season tonight and that first district game, which is 5 days away, I guess is the way it works out?
You really don't do a lot of things different. We just kind of stick to the things. Maybe you may be a little bit more in depth on the scout, maybe a little bit more in depth on those type of things. But if anything, you go back and do some of the simple things that you did early in the season, whether it's shell drill or going over plays or just reviewing some of the real simple things. And we watch some film, which we do that from time to time throughout the season anyway. But you don't change who you are, you don't change what you do. You just try to fine tune it as much as you can.
Yeah. And these 5 days will be the most days you guys have had off since that stretch after the
probably
snowstorm.
Christmas. Yeah, probably the snow. Yeah, you're right.
So, I guess that's a little bit of an adjustment, not playing a game every other day.
Yeah, and it's important to get some rest too. You want to try to, when you get started on Tuesday, you want everybody to be healthy and well. And like everybody this winter, we've dealt with some sickness and some health at times. Most of our guys have missed at some point with some sickness. So you really hope everybody's healthy and well and as close to 100% as we can be.
Yeah. Trevent?
Good.
A couple of quick questions for you. You passed Steve Riley as the winningest coach at Barren County earlier this season. He was there to give you the ball. What did that mean for you?
Well, first of all, it means I've been doing this for a while. But he's been such a big help to me. I learned so much from him. I told him this after the game. But a lot of what we do come from different places, whether it's plays we run or the style we play, whether it's things that I did as a player or things that I've seen other coaches and teams do. But the way we do things is because of him, because of the way that he did things with how he treats players and the way we go about handling our business and trying to be respectful and respect the game. And so much of the way that we do things is because of him. And I learned so much from working with him for those 7 years. And that's the backbone and the basis of what we do. So, I've been very fortunate to be able to have this job for 16 years. I've had great assistant coaches that have helped, and we've had some really good players that have played really hard and done a lot of things. So it's, there's so many people that go into being a part of that it's certainly not just me by no means, but it was, I just feel really fortunate and very thankful for the opportunities that I've had and all the good people that I've had around me to help.
All right. So how does the 4th Region Coach of the Year voting go?
Well, the head coaches all vote. And so, of course, there's the ones that we do with the 4th Region Coaches Association, and there's the KABC ones. The KABC ones are a little bit different because assistant coaches are a part of that too. But with the 4th Region Head Coaches Association, all the head coaches, the boys vote for players and coaches, and same thing with the girls. The girls vote for players and coaches.
Now, I'm not knocking anybody by what I'm about to say, because obviously the coach at Warren East has done a good job this year. But I thought, considering two things, one is you lost your top 2 players from last year, which was going to happen, graduation. And then you brought back this crew of kids that nobody really knew other than maybe your guards and Mason Bunch is a 3-point shooter. Changed your style of offense and have had a really good season.
We have, and I don't, Tate Spillman was second team all region and very deserving for that. I don't get into all the other stuff too much. I just try to. Hey, we're just try to. I want to have a good finish and win, and that kind of stuff means more to me than anything else. And making sure that we're ready to go and play as long as we can right here at the end.
Well, I was just saying, if I had a vote, you'd have gotten it.
Well, I appreciate it.
I've already given my mea culpa on the Brown Sports Bag where I said, I guess I was wrong about this season.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yes, you're welcome. All right, this is Tell Me About It on Glasgow EPB Channel 6 local channel. James Brown, Trevent Hayes, Barren County basketball coach Warren Cunningham. We'll be right back. Hey, this is James Brown. Welcome back to Tell Me About It. Glasgow EPB Channel 6, local channel. I'm with 104thescore.com, and I am with Barren County girls basketball coach Piper Lindsey. You guys, we didn't know what the brackets were going to be for the 15th district tournament until Wednesday night because you guys in Warren East had to draw to see who the 1 seed was going to be.
Right.
And you got the 2 seed, so that means you get to play Allen County Scottsville in the first round. Your last game against Allen County Scottsville, was that the one down there? Yes, was a pretty tight affair. I think final 60-57.
That's right.
What do you think about that matchup?
No, I mean, I think it's a really good matchup. I think we're really familiar with Allen County, as we are with every team in our district. But, I mean, the very first time we played them at home, it was early in the year, we played really, really well. And I do feel like, we played them the second time, that's when Katie Murphy was getting back. She wasn't starting yet, and so I think it kind of was, it just took us a little while to kind of get going. I thought we did really well in the first half. I don't know if you remember, or if you recall back, they kind of made a little run late in the third quarter. But then we were able to just kind of extend it somewhat, which, like you said, it was just a 3-point game. Heck, they had a chance to beat us, but we found a way to win. And I think that's kind of the way our season has gone lately, these last few games, is we've just kind of found ways to win. And I think that kind of takes you a long way. Of course, we also, we got in foul trouble early. We had some kids step up. And so, I think the matchup is good for us.
Well, and you mentioned the Katie Murphy coming back, and you kind of had a little window there where I thought you played well, even in the games that you didn't win. You guys lost by 9 to Franklin Simpson. I think that's as close as anybody in the 4th region's been to them.
Right.
But the last couple of games, especially the Taylor County game on Tuesday night, I thought you guys looked as probably as good as you did in that Allen County game at the beginning of the season. And so is that kind of what you see as your team's kind of rounding into what you want them to be in the postseason?
Yeah, I really do. Like, back, I feel like we keep reverting back to like the beginning of the January, middle of January. We were just kind of in a slump. We kind of had to regroup, had to figure out what we needed to do to be the best we could be. And when you mentioned Taylor County, like we passed the ball really, really well. I thought our defense was really good, which of course we take pride in our defense. And we had to fix some things and mix some things around. Like, of course, Katie Murphy, she just makes a world of a difference. She can guard, one of the better guards, and of course Abby Varney's having to guard bigs, and it just kind of puts us in different spots. I think it's helped others gain experience with different roles as well. And, I really do think that we're kind of peaking at the right time. We're making moves toward the right direction at this time.
Well, and you kind of have a unique situation, I think, with your players that you have, because you have some guards now that have experience, and then you have a trio of bigs that you can kind of rotate in depending on the circumstance. Is that must be a luxury for a high school basketball coach to have that diversity of a team? Yeah,
it really is. We've always been more guard oriented, it seems like, and we've depended on our guards to guard bigs. And now that we can go with Taylor Strange as more maybe of an offensive threat, or we can go with Hannah Bragg, who's got the length and can block shots and is good offensively. And then you've got Riley Wilson, who's big and physical and can also just a knack for rebounding the basketball. It's just almost like, depending on matchups, we've got maybe three different options on what we can do. And then, even you look back at Katie Elmore, who was our point guard at the beginning, and now she's kind of playing a 4 spot. So which is a nice thing to have as far as somebody that can handle the ball inside. So yeah, I feel like, we're very well rounded at this point.
So as you match up with Allen County, what are some keys that you have to look at in order to be successful in that game?
Well, we got to stop Morris. I mean, she's tough. She's tough to guard. We did a really, really good job on her the first game. Second game, not as much, but I feel like we kind of figured out what we needed to do. But her, and then of course Nazier can shoot it. We let her get open a few times. Of course Steenbergen's big inside. Those three right there are kids that we're going to have to make sure we guard and do a good job. And then of course they just kind of make you play hectic. We got to make sure we take care of the ball. I mean, we kind of went back to the Taylor County game. We were up by 15. Didn't do a very good job keeping that lead. So that's just something you got to learn from. And, you know, hopefully we can put that into play next week.
Yeah, I guess you still are kind of experiencing some spells in the games where you guys maybe get too big of a hurry, you have a chance to run, but kind of turn the ball over in transition. That seems to be what I see occasionally happening with you guys.
Yeah, you know, we've always been one to want to push in transition. And of course, when Katie Murphy came back, it was kind of like the bright spot for Elmo. She's like, hey, I can run now. You know, I can get down the floor because Katie Murphy will find you. But yeah, that is kind of the way that we like to play. But at times, you know, we don't want to just burn 5 seconds off the clock and you know, take a quick shot. You know, we want a good shot. And that's, again, I mean, when you play one speed, you kind of have to figure out what's best for that game situation. And like you said, I mean, we've got one game left, I guess, to figure that out. But hopefully, you know, we can learn from that and move on.
And I have noticed, I think, that since Katie Murphy's come back, gotten into the starting lineup, you are using more of your full court pressure, trapping, that kind of thing. Is that because her quickness and her defensive skills, now you have that person you can kind of put at the point of pressure of the ball?
Yeah, you know, that's kind of the main mindset. She's just, she's really good defensively, and to be able to pressure the guards, keep them from getting close to the rim, kind of helps us out, and I think it speeds up other teams, and I thought that was really effective against Taylor County, and heck, other teams at Clinton County, it worked against them. But yeah, that is kind of, it puts other kids in different spots to where Katie Geralds is also another big at 5'7", but she kind of plays the backside and can move well, and then it kind of puts Abby in a different spot as well. So yeah, it just kind of moves everybody around and makes kids more comfortable in that role of that defense.
This is slightly off the topic in terms of district tournament preview, but going back to talking about getting some size on your team, it makes me think about when you had Emma Hughes as your post player, and because you mentioned Katie Gerald's 5'7" big, so it's kind of, you have, not since Mackenzie England graduated, you really had real size that you could work with. So you must kind of look at this team, even though you have two seniors and they're very critical to the team, you must look at the core of the players you would have coming back next year and that you have right now and think, well, this is kind of a gift basket in a way.
It is, and it kind of reminds me, after Mackenzie England was actually Carly Delk first, who was about 5'7", 5'8", athletic, and just they're big. And then, like you said, Emma Hughes, who, yeah, you're right, was strictly a guard that played big inside. But it is, and we're going to miss a lot with Katie Murphy and Abby Varney. I told them, you know, we had senior night the other night. I've dreaded this day for a long time. And, of course, Katie's been with us since the 7th grade, and Abby's just been a humongous part since she was a freshman. And we are going to miss those too, but on the flip side, with the experience that the other kids have gained, considering that as our bigs get more developed, I think it could be a really pretty picture here in a year or so.
That first district tournament game is always very stressful because of what you said. It's you're guaranteed one game, and it's the winner go home game. How do you, with your experience both as a player and a coach through the years, kind of get your players to just think about it as just another game and not the pressure of that game?
Yeah, you know, I mean, I think it's just another day at the office. You approach it the same way. Try not to make it bigger than what it is. The kids know. They hear it from all the outsiders. They hear it, you know, and it's a lot of just block out the outside noise. It's us against them, you know, pick each other up. Things are going to happen. You're going to make mistakes. And I think that it's just a lot about how do you overcome that? How do you pick each other up and just stay positive? But yeah, we really don't approach it any other way. Yeah, we might have maybe a more intense scout on what they're going to do. And obviously, because we know them really well, they know us really well. We might have to change things up as far as that goes. But other than that, we kind of just approach it the same way. Yeah.
Anything else you want folks to know?
No, we're just excited to keep playing. We got a good seed. You know, we're the 2. Yeah, we like to be the 1, but that's all right. We're ready to go.
All right, and you guys play Monday at Allen County Scottsville, probably around 7:30 p.m.
Right.
All right. This is Tell Me About It. I'm James Brown. Been here with Barren County Trojanettes basketball coach Piper Lindsey, and we will talk to you guys later.
Extreme Fitness has doubled in size, now with over 8,000 square feet of co-ed weights and an upgraded 90-degree saline therapy pool. The Extreme Fitness Campus also holds the exclusive Extreme Fitness for Women complex and Extreme Blend Smoothie Bar. You have to experience the variety of classes to realize the impact they have on their clients. Personal training is with the best in the business and is available and tailored to fit individuals. So start your journey today at Extreme Fitness and Health Club.
Introducing the Glasgow EPB customer payment portal and mobile app. With our new sleek and user-friendly payment portal, managing your Glasgow EPB services has never been easier. And if you need to make a payment on the go, our new mobile app lets you pay your bills with just a few taps. The Glasgow EPB customer payment portal and mobile app, because managing your Glasgow EPB services should be as simple as flipping a switch. Visit glasgowepb.com/billpay today to sign up and download the app.
Hey, this is James Brown. Tell me about it. Glasgow EPB Channel 6. I'm here with Piper Lindsey. Oh, no, sorry, Trevent Hayes. KYS Sports TV. We're going to talk a little bit about some Glasgow boys basketball in the 15th District in Colonels.
We're going to get a spot?
We? Who's we? Your name's
We. I'm a part of that association.
Are you the Royal we? We do
The
have a spot.
Royale.
So, because I'll let you talk about the Caverna thing.
Now let's talk about Glasgow first.
All right. The Scotties will play Warren East in the first round at Allen County. I believe their game is at about 7:30 on Tuesday. And they played 3 times this year. East won all 3. They won the first one. The first one was in the 2A sectional thing. So the East won that one by 10. It was a closer game than that. East steamrolled Glasgow in the second game, which was actually considered a district game. And then the last one over at Glasgow, Scotties had a chance to win it. They lost that one by 2. I think, I still, from game to game, I watch Glasgow play, and their games, I'm like, all right, I think they could win the district, despite what their record is.
Right.
Because they shoot the ball well, some of them. They'll play good defense. And yet, they still have moments in every game where I'm like, with the exception of a couple where I'm like,
They
I don't
just
know
can't
what they're
put a
doing.
complete game together.
Yeah, they're just inconsistent. And so I think they can go and beat East, but they haven't stopped Prince yet in any of the 3 games that they played. Barber hurt them in the first game they played. I think they did a pretty good job against him the other 2 games. They got him in foul trouble in the 3rd game. They went right at him. But Prince has really caused some problems. They've had a hard time defending him. And I don't know, they like to play man, Glasgow does. But I'll be curious to see what Coach Buford comes up with to try to figure out how to deal with Prince.
How to beat him. Prince is actually a very good guard.
He is indeed. He's really shifty with the ball, can shoot it. Then they have, I think, Bratcher, who can shoot 3s, and then they've got a couple of other dudes who come in and really give them a lift. Meanwhile, though, I think a couple of things have to happen for Glasgow. I think Josiah Driver has to shoot the ball well in the game. I think Jalen Bradley probably has to shoot the ball well in the game. These are 2 smaller guards, but they can shoot the 3. And then I really think on the defensive side, I don't know if you put Jarek Martin on Prince and then try to use that length against him, but they've got to come up with a way to slow him down on the defensive side.
Because he controls the whole tempo of the game.
He does, and so it's easy for me to say all that, but he's good, so it's hard to do that stuff.
Right.
But I think their shooters have to shoot the ball well at Allen County, and make Warren East defend out to the 3-point line, so you give Jarek Martin and John Carter Walbert some lanes to get in the lane
to penetrate,
and then can dish off to Landon Minton or a Jeremiah Driver inside and attack. But if their shooters are struggling, it's going to be hard for them. I think it's going to be a hard situation for them. And now the Colonels are playing LaRue County in the first round, the 18th district.
right?
And that is Tuesday at 6. Is that when they
7.
7.
7.
Okay. What do you think? What is? They split during the regular season. Mm-hmm. LaRue won handily at their place.
I didn't get to go to that game at LaRue, but LaRue's a very hard place to win at.
Yeah.
I went. Went and watched them play Adair Monday, Tuesday. Really good game. The outcome wasn't the way that Caverna wanted it to go. Bo Barker actually is the player that got Caverna started Tuesday night. Yeah, hit 3 threes in a row. His fourth one went down and came back out, and then everybody kind of fed off that momentum. But it's going to be a big task for Caverna to beat LaRue County.
Yeah.
But if Russell Williams his length will match up with the Allen kid. And I think, they have, Caverna creates matchup problems for LaRue County.
Yeah.
Because LaRue County's guard heavy. So, their only big man is Allen. And if he's, whoever he's guarding, if you can bring him out on the floor, then the Twins can definitely have a big impact in that game. But, just like Prince, it all will come down to Jalen Crane and how he plays. He plays amongst, within himself, and he doesn't try to force shots, and I think they can win.
Yeah. Going back to Barker hitting those 3 threes to open the game, that's his role.
It is. And Bo struggles on defense.
Yeah.
He does. I talked to his dad. I talked to Bo. I'd love it if we were able to run a 2-3 or 3-2 against LaRue. That would kind of, maybe take up some of the slack for him on defense. But if he's hitting, he's the best shooter. He's the best shooter we got.
Well, and I think going back to what I said about Glasgow's shooters, I think that probably is true for Caverna as well, because LaRue's going to shoot a lot of threes, and they're going to make a fair amount of them. So you have to be able to keep pace with them in some way, and you can't trade threes for twos each possession. You've got to get some where you get some stops.
Right.
And then you got to equalize on the other end. And so it may be that Desmond Rowlett and Bo Barker and maybe even Cortavian Maxey coming off the bench.
Cortavian actually started against Adair.
Okay.
And Cortavian, I talked to Barker yesterday. Cortavian, I think, really is the key piece to that team. Cortavian just he gets so excited and wants to make a play so bad. But if Cortavian could just play his role and let the game come to him, I think he can be big, in the district. Yeah. Really big.
Well, and I mean, this is a district, we talked about it before, but I mean, this is even as this district's been, and probably since you were in school, you think?
Yep. I think it's the second hardest district in the region this year.
Yeah.
Or toughest, rather. Of course, you got the E-Town, Central Hardin, North Hardin, John Hardin, and Fort Knox, which Fort Knox is really not a factor, but you've got North, E-Town, and Central Hardin, and they're 3 of the top 7 teams in the region, and one of them's not going to make it to the region.
Yeah. So it's an interesting situation. It just kind of opens the door that any of the 4 teams can win it. And even though Hart's the 4 seed, I mean, they beat LaRue, and I mean, split with LaRue and Caverna. They lost 2 to Greene County. That's who they open with. At Greene, that's going to be hard to win there.
But I'll tell you this. One of the things that people don't know about Hart County is Connor Trent missed several games there in the last few weeks because he's also a cheerleader. And they went to Orlando for the national cheerleading competition. And his presence on the court makes Hart County. He's a slasher. He rebounds. He doesn't really shoot the 3, but he's a good defender. So now with Hart County having their full team back, it could be a Caverna-Hart County, finals of the district. But the same with Hart County, they're going to have to make shots. Greene's going to hit shots at home.
Yeah.
So Hart's going to have to, get every defensive rebound, and they're going to have to find a way to stop Blakeman.
Yeah. Anything else?
That's it.
All right, these have been our district previews here on Tell Me About It. We'll be back next week. Show airs every Thursday at 6 p.m. And I'm James Brown, 104thescore.com. Trevent Hayes.
And I won't wear a camouflage green shirt.
Yeah, we may use that as the thumbnail.
Yes, you're fine.
All right, we'll be back next week.